Hey, I'm Coach Colin Castell with Shot Mechanics Basketball, and today we have another NBA shooting secrets. This time, it's the Paul George edition. Now, Paul George is absolutely lighting up the NBA, and I had a ton of requests this last week to do a breakdown of his jump shot and his form because it has changed a little bit from the past, and he's absolutely dominant this year. So, we're gonna break it down, and maybe you can add some of these keys to your game.
All right, so it looks like Paul George tweaked some of his mechanics a little bit, and I think that's one reason why he's been shooting the lights out this year. So the first thing I wanna talk about is the change of his set point. Now, if we take a look at Paul George's shooting form in the past, he generally had a higher set point, more above his head, so his armpit angle was greater, and his elbow was pointing more towards the basket. And to go along with this higher set point, he also had poor release timing. Notice that when the ball does reach where his set point should be, out by his forehead, his feet are not quite springing off of the ground, thus his release timing's kind of messed up, and it causes a slight two motion or a hitch in his jump shot. Now let's compare that to this year. He's moved his set point down and forward a little bit, so it's out by his forehead. So now his release timing's perfect, and he's extending his arms towards the basket as his feet are leaving the ground to maximize his up force. You also notice that with this lower set point down by his forehead, he's got a much smoother stroke. And also because of it, he's shooting the ball much faster, and he's got a quicker release, just like guys like Steph Curry. All right, so let's compare his two different set points. So on the right, we've got his new set point that he's shooting with this year, and on the left, we've got his old set point. Notice how on his old shot, the ball's much higher above his head, and if we were to draw a line straight down from his shooting fingertips, they're gonna hit him in the top of the head. Or if I do the same thing on his new jump shot, the line's gonna hit him in the forehead or kind of on the bridge of the nose. Now, I know it really doesn't look like that big of a difference, but even just a couple inches in shift from your release point is gonna change everything dramatically. So I would highly recommend taking a video of yourself and then pausing it once you get to your set point. And if your set point ends up being above your head, I would definitely recommend trying to bring it down a little bit, see if it smooths it out, makes it faster and more consistent. All right, so next let's take a look at Paul George's release. If you look closely, you can see that Paul George is a split finger shooter, meaning that he shoots the ball with both his index finger and his middle finger. Notice how when he's getting ready to release the basketball, the V of those two fingers is right in the center of the basketball. So then as he releases the basketball, he's gonna snap his wrist and finish with his index finger and his middle finger pointing straight down towards the ground. If you're experimenting with the split finger release, one thing to think about is pretend like you're putting those two fingers in the basket on your release. That'll ensure that you keep it straight. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that not everyone's gonna be a split finger release shooter. Some people like the index finger, some people like the middle finger, and it really is all about what works best for you. So I recommend you try it out, experiment with it a little bit, and see if it gets you the results that you want. It very well could be the secret key to unlocking your full shooting potential. All right, next let's talk about his triple extension. And this is something that kind of goes with the shot timing like we talked about with his set point. So triple extension is basically just the idea that your ankles, knees, and hips are all working together to get that momentum and power into your jump shot. So here's the keys getting all three joints to flex at the same time. Number one, you want to keep your heels off of the ground. This is going to force your ankles to flex and get ready to spring into your jump shot. Next, you want to bend your knees and get ready to explode upward. Now, they don't have to be super bent. A lot of people think that your knees have to be at 90-degree angles, but really just a little flex will go a long ways. And the last thing you want to think about is having your shoulders come forward just a little bit. That way you get the flex in your hips. Then just pop off your toes, extend all three joints simultaneously as you're bringing the ball up, and you get a smooth release towards the basket. So mess around with this triple extension. It's going to make your shot faster, and it's going to improve your range almost immediately.
All right, if this video helped you out and you want to see more, go ahead and hit that like button down below, and then into the comment section down below that and let me know what sort of move or breakdown you want to see next. I always say this is a channel for the people, by the people, and I run pretty much everything off a request, just like this video. So leave in the comment section down below, and hopefully I'll get to it. And if you're new to Shot Mechanics in the Splash Army, welcome. And I also suggest that you do two things. Number one, hit that subscription button because we put out a ton of videos every week and they're all gonna get you better. Number two, you're gonna wanna click this button up here or the link in the description, get a free copy of my #1 scoring workout. This is a circuit training workout that's unlike anything you've probably ever done before, and many times it can increase your scoring average the very first time you use it. So you're gonna wanna check that out. It's gonna change the way you think about training. Again, I'm Coach Colin Castell with Shot Mechanics Basketball. Thanks for watching, and until next time, splash on.